do this to build assets, buy assets or own assets, and build equity. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Today we're talking about real estate investing and real estate as the fastest, easiest way to build and create wealth in your life and in your personal life or in your businesses. So today we're also jumping into the super framework, which is the framework that we're using at the end of each month this year as part of the annual challenge to help us add another process, another tool to our toolbox in order to create the life that we want. And this year's acronym or process or framework is super. And S, we'll talk about this first so I don't forget. S stands for specify your target. Know what you want. What do you want with respect to real estate? What do you want with respect to wealth? What do you want with respect to every area and aspect of your life? But since we're talking about financial health and well-being this month, let's go ahead and pick something that you want with respect to your money, income, assets, passive income, like we talked about yesterday. Maybe you're going to apply the super framework to acquiring your first passive income stream. Today we're going to talk about, so what we're going to do is we're going to write that down. Sometimes I share a tool, but since we're already talking about another topic and a tool, and we'll probably do that each month this year, we're going to double up today and we're going to have a couple of action items. And the first is going to be, what is it that you want? What do you want financially? Maybe it's $10,000 a month. That seems to be a super duper popular goal, at least with the online set. Maybe you want whatever it is you want financially per month. Maybe you want to earn a certain amount. Maybe you want to have a certain type of lifestyle. Maybe you want to, whatever it is for you. So specify that, meaning be super specific about it. Don't just say, I want to be rich. Guess what? Everybody wants to be rich, but most people aren't because they never actually decide and pick a target. Guess what'll happen when you pick that target? You're going to blow right past it and go to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Why? Because that's what we human beings do. So our topic today is all about real estate wealth and how to acquire it. Now, this is one of my very favorite topics as a human being because it's one of the industries that I really love being in. And for the average person, the best way to accumulate wealth, build equity, experience appreciation, instead of just paying interest to people, you actually earn interest on rent or income and income on rental properties, for example. So the real estate industry is one that I personally have lots of experience in. The good, the bad, and the ugly falls under this category because when I first got involved in real estate, I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't realize I was getting involved in real estate and real estate investing. I knew I wanted to buy my first home instead of paying rent, because to me, rent is like just flushing money down the toilet, right? You pay it, and yeah, you have a place to live, but you're at the mercy of someone else who can kick you out at any time. You can't do exactly what you want with that property because it's not yours, etc. So one of my first investments as a college graduated individual was to buy my first house. And I learned a lot of really interesting lessons in that experience. Number one, I stopped paying rent, but I was paying a mortgage and taxes and utilities and all those things. And that was my first education. But that was also my first understanding of how I could actually get involved with and use the power of ownership to create things in my life. There's huge tax advantages to owning property and owning real estate. No matter where, I don't know, I shouldn't say no matter where you live in the world because I don't know, but I know in the United States for sure there is. And so people think that they have to have a ton of money to invest in real estate. One of the first personal development things I personally did as part of learning about real estate was to become a mentor of Richard Allen's. If you know Richard Allen, he's the one that made no money down real estate investing. He made it a thing, right? He actually was one of the first people to teach people how to do that. And what I love about other people's money, OPM, and OPM became one of my favorite things. Okay, well, how I don't have the money, but how can I get the resources to get this done? And once you adopt that philosophy, it opens up the world for you in terms of everything. You start asking, how can I, instead of saying I can't? And that simple mindset shift has amazing impact on our lives. So Real estate, you don't need a ton of money to get involved, get started. Other people's money, leverage. I'm gonna highly recommend you don't just go after hard money lenders and let people, because that's the same as getting yourself in credit card debt. However, there is a place for that too. We're not going to get into it. There's so many things about real estate. Our one of the first high ticket coaching programs that I participated in was for real estate investing, and then also Robert Allen. So many. I've lost track of all of the things that I've done to continue to learn and grow as a person and as an individual, as well as businesses. So real estate investing, it provides cash flow. It provides long-term wealth accumulation and appreciation. It allows, again, us to take advantage of that, not just the big businesses, lenders, and banks and things. And it allows us to build equity. And equity helps us build wealth, right? Because we can leverage that to other areas and aspects of our life to do things that we want to do with our life. What do you have to do in order to do that? Well, the first thing you want to do is today I'm going to challenge you to investigate real estate options. What the heck are even the options? There's tons of options. You don't have to buy and have rental property, although you can do that. The first thing I recommend people do is get out of renting and buy your own home. And I have criteria for people to do that, but I'm not going to go into all those here. Also, you want to house hack. You can house hack. Once you buy that home, instead of just having it be a liability, because to me, my home, if it's not making any money, it goes on the liability side of my personal balance sheet, not on the asset side. Assets bring income in. Liabilities take money out. They're expenses. They're things that we have to pay. So if I can house hack or rent out a room in my home or rent out a part of my property or home in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you have a great barn on your property and you can turn it into an event center and you can rent it out to people for anything, weddings, trainings, workshops, meeting sites, all kinds of things. You just have to get creative with it. Buy a rental property. What do you need to do that? Investigate different real estate investment type opportunities like real estate stocks, REITs, they're called, real estate investment tools or trusts or things. And then also look into OPM, other people's money. Crowdfunding, for example, is something that didn't even exist when I first started out in real estate. And now it does, thank you to the internet. The internet has definitely leveled the playing field when it comes to all things real estate. So it's easy to take advantage of and learn about and get the information and the guidance and the tools that you need to get involved in real estate. For the average person, it is the best asset acquiring, the best asset and wealth building strategy that you can use. So ask yourself today, am I building equity or am I building someone else's wealth? It's kind of like, when I was in corporate America, am I building my wealth or am I building someone else's wealth? And I built a whole lot of wealth for a whole lot of other people before I realized that I needed to do it for myself as well and for my family and those I love and care about. So are you building equity or someone else's wealth? Doesn't matter what the answer is, but you need to ask yourself that and then say, am I cool with that? If you're in a great job, you love it, and you have plenty of time and energy after doing your job to create the life you want, then maybe that's the right path for you. Real estate investing in anything is not for everyone. If you're not going to do your due diligence, it's not for you because you will lose your you-know-what in no time. What would it take to buy your first real estate investment property or to get involved in the real estate industry as a wealth building strategy? What's that going to take for you? Again, it's going to be different for each and every one of us a little bit. There's, different ways you can do it based on your situation and what's best for you based on your current situation. And if you need help with that, please just reach out and ask because I can probably help you in about 5 minutes figure out what that is. And then how would your life and how would you approach your life differently if you had the security of knowing that you have another stream of income, etc., available to you? All right, so we talked about super framework. We're going to specify today what our target is. I'm going to say pick a financial target. You can share it in the comments below so we can support you and help one another if you want, but you don't have to. You can just keep it to yourself. I'm going to challenge you to at least write it down so that by the time we get to the U tomorrow, you can remember what your S was. Maybe I'm just the only one that needs to do that. All right, if I can help in any way, ask. Otherwise, have a terrific day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.